They called security, of course. 2 security guards, 3 nurses, and 2 orderlies entered the doorway in my room. A fight ensued. Punches were thrown. Halal was injected into my rear. Hello again, friends. I want to say congrats to last week's comment winner. Make sure to watch until the very end of the video for a chance to be a comment winner. And when you comment, of course, always, you will get a chance to have your comment be shown in next week's video. So stay tuned. From broke and bipolar to thriving. From the days I was broke and living with bipolar depression to thriving, it took over 18 years of putting in the work. My wife and I really were the hardest workers in the room. The work was for my better brain, mind, behavior, mental, physical health, and well-being, and the work on our businesses that my lovely wife Margaret and I relished building. Let's start from the days I was living off just a few dollars a day, existing and living in a halfway home or halfway homes for the mentally ill in San Francisco, California on only $3 a day. That was when I was taking the bus often and everywhere. I'd have either no tokens or some, and I would beg the SF Muni bus drivers to let me borrow a ride. If they said hop on, I'd get to my destination just fine on time. If they said no way, no how, I was walking those many miles, always arriving late to therapy sessions or meetings, which would end up inevitably ending early because I got there late. This all occurred in the year 2004 after I stayed in a luxurious 5-star exotic hotel. Okay, aka my 3rd psychiatric ward stay. There was nothing exotic about it. When I entered the psych ward unit on May 1st, 2004, I was apparently self-violent. I have no recollection of this, but according to the nurses and staff, I was punching the cement wall of my hospital room repeatedly with both fists until my knuckles cracked open. It was not a pretty sight. They were dripping red. At the moment, the nurses said, "Kevin, please stop hurting yourself." I replied, "Why don't you come in and make me?" Yeah, can you believe it? They called security, of course. 2 security guards, 3 nurses, and 2 orderlies entered the doorway in my room. A fight ensued. Punches were thrown. Halal was injected into my rear, and a wave of slumber overtook me, to say the least. I sat in my hospital room floor, drifting off into the abyss. The orderlies placed me on my bed, and then a male nurse, this part I do remember, he was from Italy. His name was Paolo. He was incredible. He was the best. I love you, Paolo. He held me at the shoulders, letting me know everything was going to be okay. I turned him in a wondrous daze and said, "You're a really nice lady." He responded, "If you say so." We both laughed. Then I was out like a light for the next 2 days. I'd be in the ward for a total of 2 months, a psych ward length of stay that is relatively unheard of today. One day, my Uncle George comes to see me in the hospital. Outside of visiting hours, he gets a special admit to read me the riot act. George walks into the cafeteria. It's just he and I. He's got a rolled up magazine in his right hand. He says, I'm paraphrasing here, "Kevin, your family and friends can help you until we are blue in the face. But until and when you take 100% responsibility, young man, for the fact that you have this brain disease and you fight it tooth and nail every single day, ain't nothing gonna change. You'll be in and out of places like this for the rest of your life. Is that what you want?" Can you believe it? I said, "No, Uncle George, no." He yelled, "Well, get it together, kid. We're counting on you." He was so serious, and so was the rest of my family. And he got up, dropped the magazine on the table, and left. As he walked out to the door, he said, "Read the magazine." And I yelled out, "You're not my favorite uncle anymore." He was already gone. I picked up the magazine. I took it back to my room. I unrolled it. It was a Time magazine article on how to fight bipolar depression, mental illness with routine and regimen and win. I remember thinking to myself, why didn't my first 3 psychiatrists tell me this might be a good idea to get better? Why didn't they share this with me? The very next day, after reading that article through and through, I approached my case manager, Jana from Brooklyn, tough lady, walking phenom though. I said, "Jana, I'd like to use your gym." She replied, "Kevin, This is a psych ward. I reported every psychiatric ward should have a gym. It's in the magazine. So I went to my room, got to the ground, and I got to work because I'm physically capable and I'm lucky that I can. I worked out multiple times a day like I was back in high school wrestling, doing bodyweight exercises until fail. I was well overweight. I had been without an exercise routine for so long, almost over a year, and I went to the hospital nutritionist after this. I said to her, I need to lose weight, and I need to lose it now. I need to get healthier. What do you recommend? What do you suggest? She looked at my eating charts and said, well, for starters, you should stop eating 4 unhealthy meals per 1 meal a day, 3 times a day. I said, that sounds like sound advice. I began learning about eating only anti-inflammatory meals and foods that the hospital actually had and would provide if you asked for them. That with the workouts got me losing weight quick. Then guess what? I began for the first time being honest in therapy. Who knew that was a good idea? A great idea. Things were just getting increasingly better day by day, exponentially actually. And for the first time since my diagnosis in May of 1998, I actually felt hope. I felt a way forward. After my 2 months in the psych ward stay, they were near having to let me out, but no one in my family and none of my friends would house me. They all needed me to get well on my own. I applied for residence in a halfway home for the mentally ill, and if I didn't get in, I would be homeless. Blessedly, I got into Candid House. Candid House, thank you, Candid House. On Jackson and Fillmore, a historic area of San Francisco. They called the house the Big Yellow Banana for its ugly yellow color, but it's big Victorian home. Minus the hideous yellow color, of course. I was terrified of moving in. I didn't know what to expect, how the other 14 housemates would connect with me or not. I made some friends initially, got backhanded in the face by 2 separate housemates during incidents in the house, followed the program, worked tirelessly for my better brain, mind, mental behavioral health. I lost a ton of weight, built a heck of a lot of muscle. I changed my body and I changed my brain. I had 30 days probationary period, after which I had my first weekend off of the halfway home. I could go anywhere. I could do anything. I chose to call the woman who would become my lovely wife, Margaret Hines. Instead of reviewing that story now, I'll refer you to a previous video on this channel, Met My Wife in a Psych Ward. Check it out, it's well worth it. I promise you do not want to miss that video. They are making major motion picture about our story right now. The story is like none other, I promise you. From one halfway home to another, things were getting better and better, but life was not by any means easy. The halfway homes took the majority of my Social Security income money. For some time, I literally lived off, as I said earlier, $3 a day. That could buy me a cup of coffee at Tully's or half of a bagel if Pete at Noah's was nice to me. And Pete wasn't always nice to me. Fast forward to October 22nd, 2004, I met Margaret for our first date. See video I mentioned above. We would be married by the same priest that confirmed me as a kid at St. Cecilia's Parish Church in San Francisco in June 2007. Shout out Father Michael Herman. Then the fun began. I was on a speaker's bureau. I had been telling my story publicly since 2000, just 7 months after my attempt. By 2006, 2007, I was a bona fide professional public speaker, speaking all around the world about my lived experience and expertise. By 2015, Margaret and I took over the business and built a network of clients in the hundreds of thousands. All that is to say, with hard work, a great deal of effort, determination and drive and diligence, I went from having $3 a day, almost totally broke, to earning 7 figures a year. If you want to change your life from the ground up, if you want to go from the poorhouse to the big house, you got to define your talents, what you are good at, expand upon those things, educate yourself on your topic or topics. Google and YouTube University should suffice. Glean everything you can on the topics you want to discuss or cover to become your own lived experience expert, to become your own expertise individual. Then go forth, volunteer for that cause until you've built up enough material to be considered one of the top in your field. You don't have to take the traditional scholastic route or journey, although many people do, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's also peddled by major universities. I didn't finish school. By all means, if that's your path, go for it. I'm not stopping you. I'm only saying it's not the only way forward. And remember, hard work plus hope can equal success, and it doesn't have to be monetary success. Life skill success is probably more important than anything at all. Be happy before you are well off. Happiness is way more crucial than earning hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions. Value your well-being over all else. And whatever you do, be here tomorrow and every single day after that. If you were one of the amazing human beings that finished this video until the very end, let me know in the comments section if you did or did not finish school, and let me know what year we took over the business. If you were paying attention, you can answer that question. Go to the shop in the link in the description below for all of our other great merch and books, and I'll see you with the next few videos that are coming up next week. Make sure to share this channel if you found this video helpful with someone needing some inspiration. Take care, be well, and whatever you do, be here tomorrow and every single waking day after that. You are valued, you are loved, you are worthy, and you matter to me. See ya.